Now, this has definitely not happened recently, but in the past I've had other people on the right accuse me of sounding too left-leaning. And the context in which this has happened epitomizes one of the right's biggest problems, which is not understanding the difference between liberty and morality. For example, I hate Karl Marx. He was an intellectual vacuum. There was nothing there. However, I can still acknowledge that the redistribution of wealth from which it goes from each according to his ability to each according to his need is still a morally good idea. So, I'm a Marxist, right? Well, no. The key differences are that Marxists believe that this should be done through a change in the economic mode of production, and also, more importantly, they believe that it should be done through force. Whether they admit it or not, the redistribution of wealth under Marxist ideology is not voluntary. I believe in the voluntary redistribution of wealth, and specifically to those who deserve it, like widows and orphans, but that's a longer conversation. Point is, there is a difference between liberty and morality, which I know doesn't sound like it needs to be explained, but apparently it does. Look to foreign policy if you doubt me, because leftists will do something that is considered humanitarian, and then your Tucker Carlson school of thought conservatives turn around and say not, oh, well, you're doing that wrong, that isn't actually humanitarian. They just go, no, humanitarianism is gay and anti-American. And then on the opposite extreme, you have pro-choice libertarians, especially the ones that say the unborn are people, but then turn around and say, well, you've got to allow it because liberty, freedom, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, even if that is logically consistent, why is that something you can bring yourself to advocate for if by your own concession it is greatly immoral? That was a rhetorical question. Don't answer it, especially if your answer is contrary to what the answer actually is, which is it makes no sense. Freedoms and liberties are not an excuse to abandon morality and shirk your moral obligations.